What's going on, everybody? I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law special Tuesday edition of the weekly Sportscaster podcast. Colts Law going over this week's Indianapolis Colts football game. Why is it a special Tuesday edition? Obviously, Thursday night football, right? Against the Tennessee Titans. This actually looks to be a really good game coming up, and I hope and pray that we see the exact same defense that we saw against the Ravens. Wouldn't that be awesome? Holy cow. I want to thank everybody that's sitting here joining me here live on Sportscaster. What's going on? If you do not subscribe to Sportscaster, please do so. All you got to do is go to sportscaster.com. That's SPORTSCASTR. And make a profile. Doesn't take you 15, 30 seconds. You can go ahead and make a quick profile. You can link it to your Twitter account, your Facebook, an email, something like that. And make sure you give me a follow. Just scroll down to the end of the, down there where it says Featured Networks. And then click the over bar. If you don't see me right away, it won't take you maybe one or two little clicks on that over bar before you'll definitely see the Lawrence Owen Network. Make sure you give me a follow. That way you're notified on Sportscaster every time I go live, whether it's talking about the Indianapolis Colts or the NFL in general. Every Wednesday, I go through a film room. Tomorrow, I haven't made my decision at what film room I want to do. Hey, thanks, guys, over here on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for joining in. Can't wait to actually talk about this game against the Tennessee Titans. I will give a few thoughts about the Ravens, though, real quick, because, well, let's face it, a short week. Don't really have time to do both a Ravens stream and a Titans stream. So just basic thoughts about the Ravens game. I thought the defense played great all the way through. Yes, they had two really good drives against the defense. Whoop-de-freaking-do. 2 drives out of an entire game, the defense gave up 17 points. I think the defense did an absolute amazing job. They held Lamar Jackson and that running attack to the lowest total yards of 110 in a game, and the lowest yards per carry as a team at 3.9. That's lower than any other team has ever held them in the Lamar Jackson era. And Darius Leonard straight up, they got over 100 yards. That's too much. That tells you right there. That Darius Leonard is not happy. Even if the defense plays well, if they lose, he's not happy. If the defense doesn't play well and they win, he's not happy. Darius Leonard's never happy. Darius Leonard wants to go out there and bust his butt and win games on a consistent basis. He wants the defense to be dominant all the way around. And I get that. I understand that. But good Lord, man, when you're only giving up 3.9 yards a carry and they carry the ball like 38 freaking times, what do you expect? I'd say they did a pretty decent job. I mean, the longest run the Ravens had was 9 yards, and that was that little swing route, that little option route that Lamar Jackson had that he ran out for a touchdown. That's it. Longest one. What hurt the Colts was 2 plays. First, the Colts were driving, looking like they were going to get at least a field goal, if not a touchdown. And then Jonathan Taylor gets the ball stripped from him, and it's ran back for a touchdown. That's a 10 to 14-point swing right there. It could have been 14-0. Instead, it was 7-7. That changes the entire dynamic of that game moving forward. And then, of course, the interception. Oh, my goodness. How that is called an interception is beyond me. Okay, beyond me. And everyone in media even says they don't know how that's an interception. Des Bryant's is like, that's not a catch. If mine wasn't a catch, that sure as heck was not a catch, right? And he was on the field when it happened, so you know. Yeah. I mean, even Phillip Rivers said in the interview afterwards, the guy who caught it said it wasn't a catch. It wasn't. It wasn't. He didn't make a football move. He took 3 steps. He was 3 steps to, it was like real quick hitter, bam, 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 with his feet to kind of protect himself as he's falling down, but it wasn't a football move. It was a reaction move. And they weren't full steps. They were little chops with his feet. There's no way. What's up, Scott? Thanks for being here on this stream. I appreciate you. Guys, thank you already. I got some likes rolling. Don't forget to share this out there on Twitter, Facebook, whatever social media you have. Please share this out. Don't forget, hopefully tomorrow or today, because it's a podcast. If you're listening to it, I mean today. This is a podcast, and it is featured on Spotify by Sportscaster. So get your thoughts in here right now about the Ravens game before I start talking about the Titans game, because, oh my goodness. I thought Phillip Rivers played decent. Everybody's getting mad about Phillip Rivers. I thought with the amount of pressure and the blitzes that the Baltimore Ravens sent after Phillip Rivers, I thought he played a decent game. There was a few passes where obviously him and the receivers were not on the same page. You don't know if it's him, if it's the receivers. You don't know. I'm going to probably say it's the receivers, because most of the time, most of the receivers are the new guys like Marcus Johnson and DeMichael Harris, right? The new guys that are on the team. Yes, Zach Pascal had one pass that was not really great. And Rivers says that the interception he threw, he should have threw that deeper. That was on him. It was a bad pass. So what? He had one bad pass in the last, 7-8 quarters that ended up an interception? Not worried about it. Not worried about it. The problem is what happened afterwards. If he throws one interception in a win, that's not a big deal, especially since, like I said, it's been more than, 8? Actually, that was 11 quarters since the last time he threw an interception. I mean, my goodness. I'm completely happy with the way Rivers is playing. I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback. The issue with it is these guys need time to work out things. Like, you could obviously tell that pass downfield where the receiver went one way and he should have went the other. I don't think that was on Rivers. That was the receiver. $25 million, Ant Rogers says. $25 million worth, though? Yes, absolutely worth $25 million. That's bottom half of the league in starting quarterback money, dude. Think about it. You got guys out there, most of your guys, your big-time starters are making $33, $35, $40, $50 million now. This isn't 5, 6, 7 years ago. This is today when the salary cap is up and all the quarterbacks are getting paid stupid money. That's actually cheap. Brissett at $27 million as a backup, I'm a little upset about that. But if your starter's making $25 million, I have no problem with it. No problem with it. And yes, Pittman does need to get the ball more going forward, but you got to remember he just got back from that leg injury on those 2 surgeries on his calf, so he'll probably be slowly worked in. Carlos Martinez actually went to the game on Sunday, and Colts defense was really good. I'm glad you got to go to that, man. Darius is a beast, and it was nice seeing Pittman make some plays. I believe that, especially. I wish I could have seen that live. That would have been so great. That would have been so great. All right. If you're watching on Sport, hey, Nick and Grink Spike, thank you so much. And Kai, San Francisco ER, thank you so much for joining on Sportscaster. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Appreciate you very much. Out of the 30 people right now watching live on Sportscaster, I've got about 10 people, I think, watching on YouTube. And then, of course, not to mention the many, many people that will be listening to this on the podcast later. So, yeah, batted balls, batted down at the line of scrimmage, Scott says. Yes, and that happens. That absolutely happens. I mean, the Ravens blitz like almost half the time, and they send them from all different directions. I thought the Colts line and Rivers did a very good job avoiding that and adjusting to those blitzes. I'm a little upset on the fact that the Colts didn't run the ball more than what they actually did. They were running at like a 5.3 yard a clip run, and yet Rivers threw the ball 43 times. This game was never out of hand until about halfway through the fourth quarter. Why didn't the Colts run the football more? So that's what I'm worried about. Why didn't the Colts run the ball more? 5.3 yards a clip, that's pretty darn nice. Jonathan Taylor got benched after he got the fumble. That hurt. Now, Frank Reich was sitting there saying, hey, he needs to get past that. I think possibly he was probably moody, like down in the dumps on the sideline, sitting on the bench, Jonathan Taylor was, because he fumbled, because he's probably heard that all offseason about his fumbling issues when he was at Wisconsin. It was his first fumble of the year. Had over 100 carries before he got his first fumble. Big whoop. Halfway through the season, you get your first fumble. Most running backs in the NFL get 2 or 3 fumbles in a year. Marlon Mack is one of those weirdos that did not fumble the football hardly at all. Okay? Yes, a weirdo that don't fumble the football. And he was good at doing other things. So, yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right with that fumble. It sucks that it got returned for a touchdown. The Colts needed to answer to that. And they didn't. And that kind of hurt. They ended up getting a field goal, but they got hit on a lot of 3 and outs in the second half, and that's what hurt. I think it took a while for the Colts to actually adjust to the halftime adjustments that John Harbaugh and that defense of the Ravens were making on the Colts. That was the problem. Brian says the same thing. Right with me, right? Nomadic Brian? Yep. You get right back there on the horse. Whoop-de-doo. It's a fumble. Get back out there. Whoa, Carlos says he flew out to watch the game from L.A. because if they lost, at least it was against Lamar Jackson and a good Ravens team. And he felt as though, they could have won that game. Yeah, I believe that too. I feel the Colts should have won that game. The Colts won every single offensive stat. Every single offensive stat in that game. All of them. I mean, you go look at the stat line. Give me 1 second. I'll show it to you in just a second. Or I'll not show it to you, obviously. I will tell you the stat line. Give me one moment here. Here we go. As a team, the Indianapolis Colts outgained total yards Baltimore 339 to 266. Yeah, the defense only allowed Baltimore to get 266 yards. The Colts threw for 227 as opposed to Baltimore's 156. And the Colts outrushed Baltimore 112 to 110. Now, they had more average yards per play, a whole extra yard per play more than Baltimore. The difference is turnovers hurt. Both teams had a fumble, but that one interception, that phantom interception, was a big doozy against Indy. The Colts defense got 2 sacks on Lamar. Phillip Rivers never got sacked. He got hit a couple times. He got pressured a few times. No sacks. Still the least sacked quarterback in the NFL. All right? Wow. Here's the kicker. This is why the Colts lost. Third down efficiency. Baltimore converted 38% of their third downs, which is technically not very good stat. But it looks like a freaking godsend compared to Indianapolis' 16%. 16%. Are you kidding me? You can't move the football and expect to win converting only 16% of your third downs. My goodness, that is stupid. Oh, my God. Guys, I'm sorry. All right. I still feel as though the Colts should have won that game. They just needed to get a few things moving. Just run the football. That way it would have helped with the play action a little bit. I would have loved to have seen Taylor and Hines or Wilkins and Hines out on the field multiple times, especially after Doyle went down with the concussion, because I seen that and I was like, oh my, that's awful. But I would have loved to have seen 2 running back. When is the Colts going to use this more often? You've seen it a little bit against the Lions and then not there at all against the Ravens. Why would you not have it there against the Ravens, especially when they blitz so much? You could run running back screens. You can split Hines out wide for a quick wide receiver screen, so to speak. You needed to do that. Give me a moment. I need something to drink, man. My throat is already getting sore. I am screaming so much. It's pathetic. Oh, my goodness. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you're watching this, share this to your social media. Let people know I'm out here. I would love to have people talking. Is play calling part of the issue? Partly. There's multiple issues going on with the offense right now. Okay? Multiple issues. Play calling's part of it. Yes, I think that there could be some other plays being thrown in there. But the other issue is, honestly, we were incredibly anemic at wide receiver. All right, the last couple of weeks, we've been incredibly anemic at wide receiver. And also, the receivers we do have out there just don't have that connection yet because they ain't been playing very long with Rivers, with this offensive playbook, stuff like that. So there's going to be a little bit of timing issues when throwing the football and where they're throwing the football, especially if there's confusion on what kind of route to throw or where to look for the football over your shoulder. Do you look over your left shoulder or do you look over your right shoulder? You get what I'm saying? Who do I blame for the third downs? Oh, coaching, 110%. That's the problem with third downs. Third downs is all about play calling. You have to expect what kind of play, what kind of defense you're expecting on the third down. If it's third and short, third and medium, third and long. If it's third and short, then expect them to be up close and personal. It's something that you might be able to get away with a quick route over the center to a tight end or a little drag route by a wide receiver or something. But if it's like third and long, man, throw a screenplay. Throw a screenplay once in a while. I didn't see the Colts run too many. I've seen some swing routes from running backs, but I didn't see a lot of running back screens. All right, and that's the problem with that. Yeah, the problem is wide receiver roulette, Brian. It is definitely a big problem right now. It would be, T.Y. Hilton, for instance. Let's take T.Y. Hilton, for instance. Now, I don't want to bash T.Y. because he's been so great for the Indianapolis Colts over the years that he's been here, but he's been a problem the last couple of years with his injuries, right? He has been a bit of a problem. Yes, in 2018, he didn't miss that much time, but he still had the high and lower ankle sprain for like the last 6 games of the year and was pretty much just a decoy. He wasn't thrown to. He was just a decoy out there because he couldn't really do anything. And when they did do it, he was dropping the ball all the time. And with Rivers, he ain't been on the field long enough to gain that trust of Rivers and understanding where he needs to throw the football to. You got to be on the field and you got to have repetitions with the quarterback so you and the quarterback understand what you're doing. And T.Y. hasn't been able to do that yet this year. I don't think we need a new offensive coordinator. Ant's got a good questions. I don't think that we need an offensive coordinator. I think they just need to adjust faster. Okay? That was my problem with Matt Eberflus last year, was that he was not adjusting to what the offenses was doing fast enough. This year, Matt Eberflus is making in-game adjustments, and it's not even at halftime. He's making them on the spot, darn near. After each drive, he makes these adjustments. That's why when the Ravens came out, they got those 2 drives, and they were in hurry-up mode and stuff like that. Now, granted, the defense was gassed, so that was part of the reason why they couldn't get a stop and a 3-and-out. And then the Colts actually finally started to drive the football, gave the defense a little bit of rest, and once the defense got some rest, then they started getting 3-and-outs. But that also gave Matt Eberflus a little bit of time to go, okay, here's the adjustments I need to do. I need to talk to my guys, let them know what the adjustments are. They were on the field the entire time. He wasn't able to huddle them up and say, hey, these are the adjustments we need to do. The offense has to make plays so the defense can make adjustments. And just like, so the offensive coordinators, they need to do the same thing. They need to make adjustments to how the defense is playing. That's the only problem. That's the only problem that I see is they're not making the quick adjustments, understanding the game flow and getting those adjustments out there. In the fourth quarter, I thought the Colts actually played decent. It was the third quarter that was awful. That third quarter for the Colts was god awful. I think they had 3 and outs in a row coming into the third quarter. I don't think they had a first down until right before the fourth quarter. That's awful. You can't do that. You just can't do that. And you're definitely not going to be able to do that this Thursday against the Titans. No way. Because if we're having problems keeping up with a fast-paced Ravens with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, I'm telling you, Ryan Tannehill is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. As an overall player, he is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. Lamar's better scrambling. Ryan can scramble. Ryan can scramble. Not just scramble to get open, but scramble to gain yards too. But he's a better decision maker and a more accurate passer than Lamar Jackson. And he's got some weapons out there. I'll tell you that right now. He's got some serious weapons out there. Not to mention the fact that you definitely got to stop Derrick Henry, right? You got to stop Derrick Henry. But man, he's got A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's a beast. Corey Davis is coming back right now. He's having a good year. He's got like 29 catches for about 370 yards. 3 touchdowns? A.J. Brown's got 6 tugs. Jonnu Smith, that's a heck of a tight end. Adam Humphries is a good slot receiver. Not too worried about him, though, because Kenny Moore is a bad man. Seriously, Kenny Moore is a bad man. Oh, hey, Charm City, Brander, hey, do you believe Philip Rivers is holding the Indianapolis Colts back from their true potential? Now, I've already talked about this a bunch. Here's the thing. Right now, Philip Rivers is what the Colts need. Is he what the Colts need for the future? No. If we put in somebody, like right now, Philip Rivers is the best guy we have on our roster at quarterback. He's better than Brissett, and Jacob Eason's just not ready. Okay? So he's the best that we have on our roster, and there ain't nobody else out there right now in free agencies that's going to be better than Philip Rivers. So we got what we got. We got to just walk with it. Will Philip Rivers be the quarterback this time next year? I doubt it. But, the season's not over. Who knows what happens? It's just whether or not the wide receivers and him can get on the same page. Yes. Harrison, no alpha dog. Dude, I think we do have an alpha dog. He's just hurt right now. All right. I think Paris Campbell could be that alpha dog. But he's hurt. Just like he was hurt a lot last year, and then he goes off and tears his PCL. I'm hoping and praying that he comes back sometime this year, soon. Come on, guys. Because if him and Pittman are on the field with our tight ends and our running backs, that makes this offense a lot more dangerous. A lot more dangerous. Because you got a big-bodied, sure-handed receiver with a little bit of speed out on the outside with Pittman, and then you got an average-sized, not small, average-sized speedster with hands who can make a lot of stuff happen after the catch in Campbell. We just need those guys on the field at the same time. That's the problem. What pending free agent do you think we need to get rid of or upgrade? Ooh, I hate to say this, but T.Y. might not be a Colt next year. I'm just saying, he may not. That's just my thought process. Definitely in the draft, I think we need to go out and get a left tackle. I think a left tackle is something that we need to get. And I honestly think we need to get Marlon Mack. If anything that we have seen from the running game this year says anything, we need to re-sign Marlon Mack. And God help me, even with an Achilles injury, if he would sign for $6 to $8 million a year, I think the Colts would be stupid not to do it. No, I don't think Justin Houston. You know what, Brian asked a great question. Do I think that Justin Houston is running out of gas? No, I do not. Go look at his stats. Justin Houston has a 6.3% missed tackle percentage over the last 2 seasons with Indy. It's one of the best percentages in the NFL for any player. Any player. He is a dog. He is not only good. See, when you're a defensive end, and not just a pass rusher, but with the Colts, you have 2 jobs. You have one, yes, rush the passer. But the second thing is containment. And if there's one thing the Colts defensive ends do better than just about any other defense, and why the Colts have such great run defense right now, is containment. And you got to chalk that up to guys like Kimoko Toure and Justin Houston. They are dogs at containment. They are very good. Now, Toure is amazing at picking the right time to slash inside on the pass rush. And Justin Houston don't do that near as much. But, dude, we're getting pressure. We are getting pressure. No problem. What do you mean what? What do you mean, Ant? I'm not understanding. Yeah, we had 2 sacks. And we had a ton of hits. And we had a lot of pressures. 2 sacks ain't bad. That's like the league average per game, 2 sacks. Colts had 5 sacks the week before against Detroit. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. And to get sacks against Lamar Jackson when they ran the ball as many times as they did, there wasn't a bunch of opportunities. He threw the ball 23 times. So we sacked him 1 time out of every 12 dropbacks. Put that in your thought process. Every 12 dropbacks that Lamar Jackson dropped back, he got sacked. So that says a lot. Yes. Yes, Brandon Ace. We are going to have a lot of money. Oh, that we didn't get pressure. Yeah, we had a lot of pressure. The Colts get pressure not just from the defensive ends, though. Grover Stewart, DeForest Buckner, those guys get pressure up the middle. And that wreaks havoc, period. You know, the Colts right now, PFF, is a top 5 quarterback pressure team defense. Their defensive line, as a defensive line, as a unit, is top 5 in the NFL in pressure percentage. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. I'm getting sick. I got a fly in here, and it is, ooh, yeah, pay Grover Stewart. I agree, Rogers. I got a fly in here, and it's driving me crazy. And it's a big one, too. Ugh. All right, guys. I gotta move on. We're already halfway into this podcast. I want to talk about the Titans Colts. And here's the thing. This game worries me a little bit. First off, we're going to Tennessee. So, you know, there's travel involved. They're not getting much time to prepare. You only got a 4-day window, and you're traveling. So you don't have hardly no real practice. It's mostly walkthroughs, and it's going to be difficult. You ain't got the time to prepare for this. A.J. Brown is Faze Waterhose says A.J. Brown is questionable. I hope that he does not play, but I bet he does. But if A.J. does play, I'll tell you what, I'm okay, because I think, and A.J.'s not the fastest receiver. He's just a big guy with sure hands, right? And can bully somebody, got good vision. And I'm telling you, I think Rock would handle him no problem. I would rather have Xavier Rhodes out there on Corey Davis, because Corey's got more speed. But, okay, he's in today? All right. Yeah, I think we got the secondary to cover as long as we play proper defense and don't let things get out of hand. All right. Really, Lamar, on those 2 drives this past couple days ago, Lamar on those 2 drives was throwing bullet darts right in between tight coverages. I mean, right in between these guys. So, and he had to throw those balls really hard. Tannehill's got a good arm, but he can't throw as tight into as tight a window as Lamar does because he doesn't have the cannon. He's got a good arm. It's just not a rocket laser cannon, okay? Derrick Henry is a beast. But you know what? The Ravens were the number one rushing attack in the NFL for the majority of the season. They were running over 200 yards, like 220 a game for a while, right? And the Colts handled that. I think the Colts will handle Derrick Henry fine. I don't think Derrick will get 100 yards rushing in this game. Clowney got beef with Nelson. Yes, Jadeveon Clowney. I hope Rivers uses the hard count on Clowney at least 6 times in this game. Because Clowney is so known for jumping off sides. Oh, my goodness. I bet Clowney gives the Colts a free 10 yards. I bet he gets called for offsides at least twice. Encroachment. But Clowney's a beast. All right. Clowney's really good against the run. That's what makes Clowney really good. People underestimate what Clowney can do against the run. He's very good against the run. And so I'll give him that. I'll give Clowney that. Yeah, Nelson ended up just like tackling him. It was nasty. Oh, Clowney has a knee issue. Okay. Well, that's going to hurt his burst off the line if Clowney plays. Yes, that's right, Rogers. Here's the thing. Out of 8 times, the last 8 times we played the Titans, Derrick Henry has gotten 100 yards on us twice. Not too worried. I'm more worried about Tannehill, okay, than Derrick Henry. I really am. Because Tannehill is a patient quarterback who can move. He's very mobile and makes good decisions. I mean, look, all you got to do is go look at his stats. He's completing almost 66% of his passes. He's got about 2,000 yards. He's averaging almost 8 yards a pass, 19 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. He's got over a 109 quarterback rating. He is quietly having almost MVP type numbers. Okay? Worry about him because a guy like him will take apart a cover 2 defense like the Colts. That's what I'm worried about. That is what I'm worried about. Brandon asked me, thoughts on your wide receivers and tight ends versus the Titans secondary, because I think the Titans secondary is underrated. I think our tight ends are probably the most underrated tight ends in the NFL. Now, Jack Doyle won't be playing in this game. I'm almost 99.9% sure he won't play in this game because he suffered a concussion Sunday. But we still have Trey Burton and Mo Alley Cox. And Mo Alley Cox has been quietly having a very good season, coming down with 2 or 3 or 4 big-time catches every game. You can't put a linebacker on him because he's too fast. You can't put a safety on him because he's too big. He is an ex-basketball player, power forward, that now plays tight end and is doing a really, really good job. Yeah, I've seen that too, that he has knee issues. I think our wide receivers might have a little bit of problem. Marcus Johnson, if Marcus Johnson could get on the same page with Phillip Rivers this game, I think he's going to have 1 or 2 big catches of 30-plus yards. Is that new Chargers defensive back going to be playing Thursday? That's what I'm curious about for the Titans. Brandon? That's my question to you. If you could answer that, I'd really appreciate that. Harrison Height, if you don't know him, please go give him a follow. Do you think Ballard will draft offense heavy this offseason? Seems like he'll probably will, but he'll grab defensive line and probably a corner, because those are just two positions that you could never, ever have enough. I mean, they started the year off with 10 defensive linemen on their 55-man roster. Don't forget, NFL teams now have 55-man rosters instead of 53-man rosters because of what's going on. So I just let you know. Probably. So he probably will be playing. All right, that's what I'm curious about. That he's a good defensive back. All right, so I don't know. Pittman and Marcus Johnson are the two guys that I'd be most worried about on the Colts, but they got to get on the same page. And like I said, I would love to see the Colts run a lot of two-back formations and run just option plays, even if it's a pass option play, for Rivers. I'm not asking him to do a run option, whether just run the ball, hand the ball off to one guy or pitch it out to the other, or fake both, step back, and then throw a quick screen or a slant or something. I'd like to see a lot of that against the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans are built. I love the Tennessee Titans linebacking group, by the way. Just FYI. They're good. They're not quite as good as the Colts linebacking core, but they're a very solid linebacking core. I mean, overall, the Titans have a pretty decent defense. Oh, good Lord. Brian says, please no 43 passes for Rivers. Run the damn ball. Agreed. Please run the ball. Run the stinking ball. I don't care if Nyheim Hines is running the ball now, because at least Hines knows how to be patient behind the line and wait for the blocks to open up and then hit those. That's the problem with Jonathan Taylor right now, is that he's used to a man power blocking scheme, which holes open up immediately. As soon as he has the ball, the hole is there. He knows where to go and he hits it. And a zone blocking scheme, it could take a moment before that scheme actually gets that hole opened up that needs to be there, and then he hits it. And he's just not having the patience to do that. I don't know if T.Y. will even be in this game. He's already went out because Brian says that he hopes T.Y. has quite a good game. He may not even play. He says he's not even sure if he'll be allowed to play this week. He's still questionable. So who knows? No, I haven't gotten any news from it. They're still quiet on that front. They've been asked, the coaches have been asked about Paris Campbell phase, and they refuse to answer. They say they just keep saying that he's in his recovery. So still waiting. And they're quiet till last second. Another guy that I'd love to hear about, right? Kimoko Toure. That's someone I'd like to know a little bit about. Is he going to be up playing? He's been practicing for a couple weeks now. Is he going to play? My goodness, I would love to have Kimoko Toure against this offensive line, because of his speed and bend. That's something that you can get Ryan Tannehill with, is speedy players, speedy defense. And that's the good thing about the Colts is, they're very speedy. All right. I hope so. I hope so. So, what are we going to do? What are some predictions that we have for this game? Because this is something that's going to be interesting. I think the Colts defense will hold them down, but can the Colts offense get going against a pretty decent Tennessee defense? I don't think the Tennessee, I'm sorry, this fly is bugging the heck out of me. I don't think Tennessee is going to have more than 250 yards passing. I don't think they're going to have more than 100 yards rushing on the Colts. But I do think that this defense can give the Colts offense troubles. That's what I'm worried about. I don't mind him overthrowing as long as you don't underthrow like he's been doing. That's the biggest problem, Pace. That interception, that quote, air quote, interception that happened on Sunday against the Ravens, that was an underthrow. He needed to throw that ball 10 yards further downfield when he threw that football, but he didn't. Oh, Swaggy. What's up, Swaggy? Hey, guys, if you're watching this and you don't know, please go check out Swaggy's channel on YouTube. He's a Colts fan. Give him a follow. He does a lot of different stuff as well. Colts are interested in Darnold per source. I am interested in Sam Darnold, my guys. If the Jets are interested, I'll tell you what, right? I'll tell you what. The Jets look pretty good under Joe Flacco against what is supposed to be one of the better pass defenses in the NFL in New England. And Joe Flacco looked pretty good. If Joe continues to have a decent season and looks better than Sam Darnold, and the Jets are like, we'll trade Sam Darnold, I'd give them a second-round pick right now. I'd give them a second and a fourth right now for Sam Darnold. That would be awesome. I'd take Sam Darnold in a heartbeat. Him and Eason together, that'd give us two young quarterbacks that could fight for it. And whoever's best can take the dang on reins of the starting quarterback long-term for the Colts. I'll do a third, and then it's a done deal. Tydale says prefers Dak. Now, the problem with Dak is, how are we going to pay him? Because Dak is going to want $40 million. And we got to pay Nelson. He's going to be close to $20 million. We got to pay Darius Leonard. He's going to be one of those close to $20 million players. That's $40 million right there. $40 million and two players. Are you kidding me? Plus, there's other players on the Colts team that we're going to have to re-sign. It's going to cost money. Like Mo Alley Cox. He ain't going to cost a ton, but he's going to cost some. I want to keep Anthony Walker. I'd like to re-sign Marlon Mack. That's the problem. And yes, and Grover Stewart. I like Dak. He's just going to cost the Colts way too much money. Way too much money. That's my only issue. I'd rather have a great team with a good quarterback than an okay team because you had to let a lot of your big-time hardcore pieces go to get a great quarterback. I don't want this defense to fall apart. That's just flat fact. I don't know. You see, Mac, off the Achilles injury, it'll take 9 months for him to get back and get running around on that football. That'll give Mac enough time to go to the Colts and show if he still has it. So we'll see. We'll see. I want to see if he still has the same burst and cuts that he had last year. As for T.Y., he's going to have to come. In order for us to re-sign T.Y., in my opinion, he's not only going to have to come back this week or next week, but he's going to have to stay healthy the rest of the season, and he's going to have to increase his performance 300%. That's just what I'm saying. Yeah, I miss Andrew. We got to miss Andrew Luck. Wow. Andrew Luck hasn't been mentioned in my streams in probably 3 weeks. And Swaggy brings him in. Yes, I miss Andrew Luck too. Everybody miss. Can you imagine? I hate doing the what ifs, but if Andrew Luck was a quarterback right now, the Colts right now, good chance the Colts would probably be 8-0 and ready to go run down the field for a Super Bowl. But those are what ifs. Those are just what ifs. You know what's funny? Everyone said that Phillip Rivers, touchdown prone or interception prone. He's on pace to throw 13 interceptions this year. Andrew Luck threw less than 13 interceptions one time in his career. And 13 interceptions on a season ain't that bad. Like I said, Rivers had that pick. It shouldn't even been a pick. I'm really interested about DeMichael Harris. We'll see what happens. I mean, the last couple times he was brought up from the practice squad, he showed out a little bit. Now he's signed onto the Colts 55-man roster, so we'll see him. We'll see how he works out. You'll probably see 2 or 3 plays with him against the Titans. That'd be a good thing to keep a hold of. Watch out for. Because, I mean, isn't it Doolin that's on IR right now? The other speedster that I caught that fly with my hand. I just reached up and caught the fly with my hand. I caught it with my hand. I just ninja'd that fly out of midair. Well, that didn't look good on camera. That fly is all screwed up. But hopefully, grasshopper, it's time for me to leave the temple, Brian said. I've caught flies out of midair multiple times in my life. I've done it probably, generally I've got more focus. I'm not sitting here doing a podcast with you guys, but I've done it many, many times over my life. It's all about figuring out where the fly's going, not where it's at. But anyhow, all right, guys. Man, we've been here for about 50 minutes now. This is a great stream, but ladies and gentlemen, this is a podcast, and I can't let it go over an hour. You guys, not just Colts, throw some suggestions in the chat right now over the next 5 minutes on what kind, doesn't have to be Colts, anything in the NFL. What is my film room breakdown going to be for tomorrow on Sportscaster? What is it going to be about? It could be about anything. I did Tua last week. I don't know if you guys saw it. I was dead on the money. I said Tua wasn't good, wasn't bad on his debut as a starter, and that he would play better the next week, that his numbers will be better because he was accurate, and sure enough, he sure as heck did. So there's something out there in the NFL world that you want me to do a stream on or a film room breakdown, please let me know. As you can see, I had to shave. If you want to check out my my stream on Sportscaster, where I did a bet with Joe Nubo, who covers the Ravens, clean shave bet plus a mohawk, right? Well, I put my hair in a mohawk yesterday and shaved and did the stream with him. And it's on Sportscaster. You can find it on Sportscaster on Joe Nubo's stream from yesterday. You'll see the 3 of us. I think we were talking. It's the Monday Night Football pregame show that we did. You're welcome to check that out. Michael Pittman Jr. We got Garrett Gilbert, Joe Burrow, DeMichael Harris. So you're going phase. You can only have one. I assume you want MPJ instead. So I will do a film room breakdown on MPJ tomorrow. Like I said, yeah, I get you. And you know what? It wasn't Cam Newton's fault. Cam Newton played well. Flacco played well. The problem was that the Jets their offense wasn't hampered that much by New England's defense, and that's weird to say. All right. Hi, Sunflower. Welcome. Don't forget, it's now been about 5 minutes, so let everybody know, please, if you are watching this, hit the like button, smash that like button, give me a follow, and share this stream to your favorite social media site. I'd really appreciate that. Help me get a little bit of exposure. Don't forget, this is my podcast going out on Spotify, which, well, actually, it's going out a lot of places, but it's featured on Spotify and on Sportscaster. Don't forget, give me a follow, subscribe, and until next time, guys, break down the right tackle. Ant Rodgers wants me to break down. I'm assuming you're talking about Smith, Braden Smith, the right tackle for the Colts. That might be a time that I might be able to at some point. But looks like I got too many people wanting MPJ for this one. But thanks, everybody, again for watching the stream. Appreciate you guys. You, me, DMV, also all here on Sportscaster. Until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. We were talking Colts Ravens, and then we look forward a little bit. Titans, Colts. I got Colts winning. I got Colts winning big. I got Colts winning 29-15. That's what I got. I think they're almost going to double the Titans' score. Let's just hope it comes out good. And until next time, have a good one.